All right, we're here with Michael Derrick. Why don't you tell us when you first started acting and when you actually became interested in it?
As far as when I got interested into acting, I mean, I know it's cliche to say and cheesy, and people always say it, but I think like as far as back, I grew up. My father was always in a band, a performer, so I grew up going to practice with him and watching his shows. So I think the performing thing was always in me, and like I always did like little things here and there, like in school, like school talent shows and whatnot. Didn't really start taking it seriously until I started. First, I started in modeling. That was my first interest, mainly because I was very intimidated by the whole idea of acting. You know, I'd never taken classes, and it just seemed like something that was a very involved process. Whereas modeling, you just stand in front of a camera and
Hmm.
you're told to smile. So I figured, whatever, I'll try to take that angle. So I did the modeling route a little bit, and I got involved with MTV on like some smaller projects, and that's when I started, getting my first taste of being in front of the camera, and performing live, and I loved it. The whole energy rush, the adrenaline, everything was something that really intrigued me. So I started taking some acting classes in the city, little seminars here and there, just pretty much for the fun of it. And surprisingly, I got like a really good response. People were told I had a very natural approach to it, and like it started to build my confidence. So I started auditioning, and before you knew it, I found myself I had an agent, and was going on bigger auditions for like soap operas and commercials and stuff like that. And somewhere along that way, from the transition between modeling and acting, I threw away the whole modeling desire, and acting was such a this the life in acting really was what I wanted to do, and that it became like my whole goal, my drive in life was to pursue this career. Even though I was still doing school on the side for for communication at Rutgers, I started spending all my time in the city doing this, and that's when my passion really started to grow.
Hmm. And then you went on to a reality show that called Intern, and you won a role on As the World Turns.
Yeah, I did a reality web series
Hmm.
for CBS.com called Intern, where we lived in a loft in Brooklyn and competed for a role on As the World Turns. I didn't actually win, but I got it down to the final three, and the
Hmm.
cool thing was the final three all got to get a small guest starring role on the show. And then the idea was the people at home voted and stuff. And although I didn't win, it was a very, very cool experience. And it gave me I've hated reality shows up until then because they always seem so dramatic when they start crying and stuff
Hmm.
towards the end of the week. But the whole thing is, it's such a warped reality that you're in while living in that house or loft or whatever for a week that you're out of your mind. Like, you're not emotionally sane. So that's why at the end of the week you're like, oh my God, these are friends for life. Meanwhile, I mean, I probably talked to one or two of them since then.
Yeah.
But it's a really cool experience, and that getting the opportunity to be on As the World Turns, and it was a location shoot in Times Square, which is incredible. So the whole thing was definitely worthwhile. I loved it.
And now you've also been in quite a few movies. One of them was called The Danny McKay Project, also Tied Up. Why don't you talk a little bit about those experiences?
Yeah, my first feature film when I was living out in California wound up being the Danny McKay Project. Very cool film with a good buddy of mine, Mark Hapka. He was the lead role. I played his best friend. It was shot kind of mockumentary style, dealing with the lead character, obviously Danny McKay. He finds out he has cancer, and he's coming to terms with it in his last few months of life. And it just deals with how he's dealing with it and his friends deal with it. It's a really cool film, and I think they're still trying to find a way to get it out there for people to see. I heard rumors there might make it a type of web series type
Hmm.
thing right now, just so to have it be seen, because it's a good film that has a really good heart to it. Like, the story is really great, and the performances are like pretty powerful. Like, Mark did an outstanding job, and I was really proud to work with him. And then since then, I've been really lucky as far as getting most of it on my own, but like getting involved in some really great projects. I worked on two features that are coming out now: The Love Lies and Seeta,
Right.
with my good buddy Arjun Gupta
Hmm.
from Nurse Jackie. It's a romantic comedy. I kind of describe it as Something About Mary meets Slumdog Millionaire, because it's they didn't make a Bollywood film, but they kind of did a good compromise where they can get both cultures interested in this film, and it's just got released overseas, and apparently it's doing very well, and it's kind of has a limited release now in the U.S., and they're trying to use that to get some heat behind it to have as a negotiation chip to get the distribution here, and I think once it gets released, it will do well because it's a funny film, and it's got something I think everyone can kind of find themselves in the characters. Like, their
Hmm.
characters are very relatable, you know. And then I also have the other one, True to the Heart, another romantic comedy I worked on. It's another great, funny film. You know, it's not gonna blow your mind or anything. It's a dumb chick flick essentially, but it's really good. And I play the bad guy in that, which was fun. Like I'm the jerk. There's nothing likable about my character.
Yeah.
The lead guy, it's about him falling in love with this girl. I'm wearing a band at the beginning of the film, and then our band breaks up essentially because I'm an idiot that keeps hogging the spotlight, and I just spend the rest of the film trying to sabotage his career and his love life, and just throwing out cheesy one-liners. Just really not one redeemable quality about it, but it was a lot of fun to play. And then recently I finished up this really great short film called Tied Up with a great friend of mine, Brady Kirchberg, and my good friend Jason DeSimone. He produced it. Brady wrote this film, and I was with him from the very beginning. And it's right now it's just a short film, currently being worked into a feature. We're writing it right now. But the short film came out fantastic, and they're submitting it to all the festivals right now. It had 2 screenings and a premiere in the city. Very well received. It might be because I'm so attached from the beginning. I was with Brady through all the trials and tribulations, that all the wrong turns, the bumpy road, and to see it come out so great at the end, it's one of the proudest projects I've worked on, and it came out, looks beautiful. The story's great. Everyone who sees it, like, it has all these great twists and turns, and it's powerful ending to it. Like, I just watched it. Like, the first time I watched it with Brady at the first premiere, I hadn't seen it yet, and I'm sitting next to him. And he had this smile on his face, like, because obviously he'd been editing it. He knows what it looks, but he's like, yeah, just wait and see. I want to hear your opinion. And when it ended, I looked at him. I'm like, wow, bro. Thank you. Thank you for letting me be a part of it. Because that's what it's about, man. Especially when you're first starting out and you're not getting paid and you have your side job to pay the bills and you're doing these passion projects. And, like, especially where I'm at, like, I've been submitting myself to everything just to get my name out there and, you know, build a reel, build a resume. And the hard fact is, like, so a lot of these projects, they could be great on paper, you don't know how they're going to turn out. But when you find, you put your heart into something and then it translates to this great thing on screen, it's worth every hour at your lame job. It's worth every minute of sitting around on a hot day on set where you're not getting paid and you're wondering what's actually going to come of it. To get to sit there and watch this thing that you're a part of come to life, that's when you realize, okay, this is why I do what I do.
And what advice would you offer to somebody who's just starting out now that you've come up through the ranks and you're seeing your career advance?
The biggest piece of advice I can give is it's hard, man. I'm not gonna lie, it's very hard. And one great piece of advice, my acting coach, Howard Fine, phenomenal teacher. Like, when I started working with him is when I really started to, I don't want to say take it seriously, but he's what made me realize how similar acting can be to a sport, in that it's like working out. It's like a muscle. It's like if you keep working at it, you can grow, you can get better. His class, I was in his Monday night master class. That was the audit class, so new students would be there every week. So he would always address the prospective students every week, and every week he would give them this bit of advice. He's like, with acting, if you have a backup plan, go do it. Acting is one of those things you really can't half-ass it. You can't say I'm gonna give it a shot on the side and see what happens, because if you're not giving 110% to it, there's 7 guys that look like you, or there's another guy right next to you, looks like you, actually, but you know what? He's living, he's eating, he's breathing, acting. He wakes up, he's writing something, he's memorizing a monologue, he's on the breakdowns every night. So if you're not doing that and you're hoping to get lucky, you're wasting your time. Because the thing is, you have to realize you're picking a very different road, a very bumpy road, a very different path that not a lot of people take. Everyone wants to be famous, but if you're doing it to be famous, you're gonna fail. You have to do it because it's what you love to do. Because the fact is, once you choose this path, a lot of your friends obviously did not choose this path. You're gonna watch your other friends get their 9 to 5, start their families, grow up, and you're on this different road that when you're surrounded by actors you feel fine, but then you see your other friends, you're not in the same boat as them. So there's going to be panic attacks, like, what am I doing with myself? And the thing with acting is you have to have this blind faith in yourself, this blind trust that you're good enough, that you you're not stupid. You're not making a mistake because you're going to be told no a lot. You're going to be told no way, way more, especially in the beginning, than you're going to hear yes. And you just have to you have to brush it off and think, okay, they just don't get it. They either don't get it or they don't want to take a chance on me because I'm new and I'm green or I don't have a resume. And you just have to keep pushing forward and continue to grow and do it for the right reasons, and then hope that all your hard work will eventually get noticed. And you have to set yourself up, like, network with everyone that you meet when you're on set or anything. You never know who's going to make it. So you have to set it up so when you finally get that one break and you're in something, these people can be like, oh, I know Michael Derrick. I've worked with him before. Oh, and he's in this? Yeah. I want to work with him too. And that's why you see guys like Sam Worthington when Avatar came out. No one knew who he was, and all of a sudden he had like bam, 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 9 films came out because, okay, he booked James Cameron's film, and then his agent was like, oh yeah, Sam's working with James, and all of a sudden everyone he knows is like, I want to work with him too. So you have to pretty much, it's like a huge game of chess. You have to like set up all these moves for way in advance, hoping that you get that one break, and then let everything just fall into place.
Cool. Thank you so much, Michael.
Thank you.